Have you ever been asked to join a pyramid scheme in the confession booth? Last Tuesday, I went to confession for the first time in 8 years. What happened next made me question everything I thought I knew about my local church. I'd been raised Catholic but drifted away after college. Recently divorced and struggling with guilt, I found myself drawn back to St. Bartholomew's, the small church where I'd made my first communion. The building looked exactly the same. Faded red brick, stained glass windows depicting the Stations of the Cross, that musty smell of old wood and incense. Father Dimitri was new, transferred from a parish 3 states over. Young for a priest, maybe 35, with intense green eyes and perfectly styled hair. The older parishioners loved his energy, his modern approach to sermons. He'd already doubled attendance in 6 months. I entered the confessional, made the sign of the cross. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been 8 years since my last confession. Welcome back, my child. His voice was warm, inviting. God celebrates your return. I confessed my sins, the lies during my marriage, the anger during the divorce, the doubt that followed. Father Dimitri listened patiently, offering gentle guidance. Then, as I finished, everything changed. You know, he said, his tone shifting to something more casual. Confession is really about transformation. Speaking of which, have you ever considered transforming your financial situation? I froze. Excuse me? I'm talking about an opportunity that could change your life, something that's already blessing many members of our congregation. Through the mesh screen, I saw him pull out a glossy brochure. It's called Heaven's Harvest. You invest in blessed essential oils, sell them to others, and recruit your own team. The more souls you bring to financial freedom, the more you earn. Father, are you pitching me a pyramid scheme? Multi-level marketing, he corrected quickly. And think about it. Didn't Jesus himself recruit 12 apostles who then recruited others? This is just following his business model. I sat there stunned. This is a confession booth. Exactly. Where better to discuss new beginnings? Plus, I already know your sins, so I know you're trustworthy. The entrance fee is only $500 for the starter kit. You could make that back in a week. This can't be real. He leaned closer to the screen. Let me tell you something. The church needs funds. The diocese is breathing down my neck about renovations, and traditional donations aren't cutting it. But if I can get 30% of the congregation into Heaven's Harvest, we all win. You get rich, the church gets its new roof, and God's work continues. That's not how any of this works. Oh, but it is. Sister Bernadette made $3,000 last month selling to her book club. Deacon Rodriguez has his whole soccer team signed up. Even Mrs. Kowalski, 82 years old, is killing it on Facebook. I stood to leave, but he kept talking. Wait, for your penance, I want you to really consider this opportunity. Pray on it, and watch this video. He slid a USB drive under the partition. I took it, too shocked to refuse. Are you giving me MLM materials as penance? Multi-level blessings, he corrected again. Oh, and tell 10 friends about Heaven's Harvest. That's 10 Hail Marys worth of spiritual credit right there. I stumbled out of the confessional to find a line of parishioners waiting. Mrs. Nguyen was clutching her rosary. Mr. Petrov held his worn prayer book. They had no idea what was waiting for them. That night, I watched the video out of morbid curiosity. It was Father Dimitri in full vestments, standing at the altar, explaining how each tier of Heaven's Harvest corresponded to levels of angels, cherubim, seraphim, archangels. The production value was disturbingly high. I did some research. Turns out, Father Dimitri wasn't really a priest. He was Dmitry Volkov, a former pharmaceutical sales rep who'd bought a realistic priest costume online and forged transfer papers. He'd been hitting different churches across the country, staying just long enough to recruit before moving on. The real Father Dimitri had died in Romania 3 years ago. I called the diocese immediately. They were horrified, but not entirely surprised. Apparently, they'd been tracking similar scams across multiple states. Within 48 hours, Father Dimitri was arrested during what he called a blessed oils baptism ceremony, which was really just him trying to sign up a youth group. The saddest part? Many parishioners defended him. They'd made money. Sister Bernadette really had earned $3,000, though she'd recruited 47 people who each lost their initial investment. Some still believe he was a real priest who just got creative with fundraising. St. Bartholomew's is under investigation now. The real priests are trying to help people get their money back, but most of it's gone. As for me, I still have that USB drive. Sometimes I watch it to remind myself that con artists come in all costumes, even holy ones. I haven't been back to confession since. When I finally do go, I'll make sure to Google the priest first.